Hey guys, welcome to the Week 5 recap of this special 10th anniversary Blood, Sweat, and Beers season. It was an interesting weekend yet again. Some names, numbers. Last night was a big deal. There's a lot of angst in my household, very much weeping and gnashing of teeth that was happening throughout the game. And I was the only one home, so it was all me, and it was probably better that I was home and no one was around to hear me or see me. But pretty cool to see Breeze break that major milestone, major record. He's a pretty likable guy, whether you're a Saints fan or not. So that was kind of neat to see, NFL history being made. But speaking of Saints fans, I thought I had kind of like an inside track into some of their personnel decisions. I really thought, well, I'd been told anyway, that Mark Ingram was going to pretty much take a back seat. He was going to be like reduced to very little in the way of snaps or carries. To the untrained eye, clearly I have an untrained eye, 2-3 record. I don't have my finger on the pulse of the NFL, and certainly not on the Saints, but it kind of looked to me, and I should go back and double check the numbers and things, but that maybe Ingram was like the lead back. Like maybe he had more carries than any other Saints running back last night. A couple of touchdowns, right? Throw those in there too. Maybe Ingram's the guy, and the guy that used to be the guy is just now the punt returner, because he seemed to be doing a lot of that last night. So I guess we'll find out going forward. Obviously, I hope Ingram continues his touchdown ways. That would be nice to be able to slide him in to the lineup. But appreciate, Aaron, you leaving Robbie Anderson on the bench. All my whining and complaining the past couple of weeks about third most points scored, still losing, blah blah, didn't fall totally on deaf ears, because clearly I wasn't even close to third most points, and yet you still managed to help me out. So I appreciate that. Unfortunately, it probably just encourages me to whine and complain more. So we're going to put that on you. I won't whine and complain this week, at least not about my score, because I did win, but we'll see what happens next week. I might be right back to my complaining ways. But congrats to our streaking Joe Wilmot. 5 straight to start the season. Very nice. I'll have to go back and double check, but I think 9-0 is the start. Maybe it was 11. Maybe Ruben did 11 one time. I'll go back and double check to see if you're on pace for that. But while you are still running into teams not scoring points against you, you still have the lowest points scored against you. You are scoring points yourself, so you can take your foot off the gas for the anxiety there as far as that goes. Obviously, Connor's doing wonderful things for you, despite the fact that you wasted that pick on Le'Veon. You wasted that pick. I did have a question for your other team, John. You had posted earlier last week, I think, that you weren't going to respond anymore, that you were just going to win and move on. So then what happens when you don't win? Does that mean you do respond? You only don't respond when you do win? I was a little confused on that. The ground rules with this new team are a little confusing. Obviously, the unwritten, unspoken things about us being able to beat that team, that was a misunderstanding. So just kind of curious about that. It does seem that we've had not a lot of activity. A little bit on the message boards this year, but not a lot as far as personnel or roster changes. It seems like we're all scrubbing the waiver wire pretty well each Tuesday night, but no trades. I know we haven't had Kurt in the league for a little while. I always miss that. Trades that you had about a 30-minute window to respond to, and if you happen to be at work or, for instance, at a meeting or anywhere where you couldn't respond within sometimes 15 minutes, boy, that thing would just disappear. Those trade requests would just vanish. I think Joey's done that a couple of times too when the anxiety takes over. But start looking. We're going to start throwing, some of us, I'm sure, will start throwing some trade requests out there. So pay attention to your emails, or when you go online, double check. And we'll see if we can't shake this up just a little bit. Because the rest of us are just kind of muddling around in the middle. We got Joey streaking at the top. We got, unfortunately, John streaking at the bottom with 3 straight losses. But other than that, the rest of us are kind of fumbling around through the middle. So I do say fumbling. I know we've seen some big scores, but nobody's consistent, obviously, with the records the way they are. So we'll have to see how that goes. We'll see how if Billy can maintain his newfound roster, his newfound scoring. The last 2 weeks have been pretty impressive, and the first 3 weeks were not. So we'll see if he continues or if there's a waffling coming. But enjoy this next week. We look forward to week 6. Keith will win the championship. See you guys later.